and thank you for joining us this wonderful Tuesday. We are talking about emotional intelligence in your vet physio business, and we will be getting started shortly. I could just hear a replay myself. Maybe it's because we've gone live on Facebook. I think I'm good. I think it was from your side. Sweet. Awesome. Thank you so much for everyone that's joining me live here in the room. I know I've got a lot of people that are joining on replay too. Do you believe that you have emotional control in your life? Are you the kind of person that goes, yeah, I rock my emotions at all times? Awesome. And the liars? We don't have control over our emotions at all times. But would you rather like to be able to manage your emotions and be able to work on some time keeping elements so that we can level you up in your vet physio business? Awesome. Well, that you're in the right place. Today's topic, emotional intelligence, is actually based from the book Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Goleman. This book actually revolutionized my life. I quit some things that were not serving me emotionally when I read this book. And as a new mother, which I'll introduce my little man in a moment when we get to that page, I realized how important emotional intelligence is. And this is a very big, powerful factor. When you can control this within your business, it's a real true reflection, and it can really help build rapport and get the point across to the pet parents that you need to make so that we can keep serving our dogs and pets of the community. That's why you became a vet physio, and my duty to you guys is to be able to help you to do that. So my name's Elizabeth Hack, and before we get going, I am a bit of a dorky speaker. There'll be no snoozing on my training today. So we're first of all going to reach up to the sky. Come on, I can see it. Perfect. And pat yourself on the back. Well done for making the time to take time out of your day to work on your business rather than in your business. Today, we are going to look at the 5 domains of emotional intelligence. We're going to look at how those domains can help you build rapport, convey messages that you need to share with your pet parents, and ultimately convert them into clients that will allow you to take care of their pets, which is where our main focus is. I'm also going to give you some time management tools to support you in your journey with your business. I could talk about emotional intelligence for hours. I'm going to try not to. I like to keep my trainings within 45 minutes, but anyone that's here live, if you have any questions, just pop them in the chat or simply unmute if you're here in the Zoom room. If you're listening to me on the Facebook groups right now, join the Zoom room. Comment. Rachel's here. She's going to support you. She'll get you here in the Zoom room so that you can ask me those direct questions. I have much more fun when I get to interact with you guys and answer your questions. We encourage questions here. So I'm a business coach. I've been doing this for the last decade. I've been working within multiple niches for the last decade, and I have managed to help some of those people within those niches make 6-figure differences to their businesses. I'm a speaker, a coach. I'm now a radio presenter, if you ever want to dial into Overton Radio. I'm also a facilitator, and I've launched and trained teams in Australia and UK within the dog grooming sector, and even a dog cafe randomly here in the UK. I specialise in helping small independent business owners get their feet off the ground with their business, because you've spent so long training to do the expert thing that you do in your business. For vet physios, you've trained for years to become a vet physio, and then you kind of jump into business and go, hold up, I don't know how to do the rest of this part. And what I've experienced is people lose the joy. They start getting burnout. They start getting overwhelmed from the business. And that's not why they got into business in the first place. They did it because they want to serve the animals, their community, in your guys' case. And the business running part is is secondary. But I'm here as your emotional guidance counselor to get you through, to get you the success and joy and fulfillment that you deserve from your business. So with this training today, it's going to be interactive, actionable steps. Again, I don't want this to be a snooze fest. I don't just want you listening to my voice the whole time. And as I show here, I am a mother to a wonderful son. He's only 8 months old. He was much younger in this photo. So if at any point I stop talking and seem to be tripping over my words, it's just called mum brain. That's just who I am. My favourite thing about what I do is that I don't pretend to be anything that I'm not. I'm here to serve, I'm here to help, but I'm not perfect, and who is? So bear with me. So the book Emotional Intelligence, written by Daniel Goleman, he says in the book, emotional intelligence is how we handle ourselves, lead ourselves, and handle our relationships. And when we're in business, we are constantly handling relationships. It matters because when emotion goes up, intelligence tends to go down. And when we are able to emotionally manage ourselves and the situations and build that rapport and be able to share that communication and connection with our pet parents, then it allows us to do what we trained to do in the first place, which is serve and care and heal the animals. So there are 5 domains. How many? 5. I want to see your hands raised. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. With it that Daniel teaches about within the concepts of this book. This book has so many teaching elements. What I've taken out of it are 5 domains and how that relates directly to you in your vet physio business. Generally, as we're going through school, we're taught that we need to know the hard skills. So this is like reading, math, this is teachable and measurable results. If you're good at maths, if you get your A stars in maths, you're going to be great at life. These soft skills are, communication, listening, and etiquette. That's okay, Rachel. That is like an afterthought. That it'd be nice if you're a nice student, or it'd be nice if you're a good employee that can interact with people well. But actually, when we're looking at jobs, we're looking at who can do the computer work. This is like society is just like, oh yeah, these soft skills are okay. But what we found, and from working with independent business owners for this last decade, is I know that recipe right there that we're taught is the recipe for burnout. And I don't want burnout for you. What really matters in business is that you live to your own core personal values and that you can grow and develop as you build your business. You can live authentically. You don't have to pretend to be the perfect person the whole time in your business. You just have to show up and give the correct emotional response to the situation that you're been given. Empathy is a huge part of being a vet physio. Empathizing with that pet parent about the situation that they're going through, understanding that there may be other emotions happening for them other than just the concern for their pet, and how can we handle that effectively so that we can give the pets the care that they deserve. So, domain number 1, emotional self-awareness. Sidebar, this is a cute little puppy called Milo that I groom. I love him, and he's my cousin's dog, and I like using him in presentations. So enjoy Milo while we talk about emotional self-awareness. In the chat, I'd love to know right now, what types of emotions do you go through in a day? I would just type in, just yell out or type in the chat what emotions when you're dealing with the pet in front of you. Oh, yes, that's right. You may feel concern for well-being. Absolutely. You can feel sometimes stress. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah. Empathy for the owners. Absolutely. It's a tough situation. Thank you, Stevie. You know, we may project that they may not be able to afford our services. We may be putting things in our own way before we make our sale to these owners. Sympathy for the dogs and the horses and the cats and the animals that you care for. We may feel frustration with team members, anger at the traffic. So our emotional capacities in just a day-to-day scenario can ebb and weigh in business. But what is very important is that our rapport with the client is built within the first 5 seconds of them meeting us. So if we're frustrated and aggravated, a document's not working and we're trying to get something set up before they walk in, they come in and we've got this look of aggravation on our face, they're going to go, oh, okay, that's their first impression. Whereas if they're greeted and you're calm and you're like welcoming and you're ready to receive them and look after I'm going to say dog. I'm going to focus on dogs. We're Canine Care Hub. I'm going to say dog for the rest of this presentation. And you're there to care for their dog. Then they're going to read that and feel that off you as well. Just being aware of the emotion that we're in rather than letting it drive us is super important. And it really lends and leads into the next domain, emotional self-regulation. And I absolutely love that we've got a Chihuahua as our picture for this one, because your clients do not want a frantic energy Chihuahua, kind of like, oh my God, I'm here, there and everywhere. There's documents in this room, run back, see you. That kind of frantic energy, you're allowed to feel it. We're all business owners. We definitely feel that at times. Admittedly, I had this an hour ago when I'm trying to set this up, and my wonderful son has a poop explosion. So yeah, frantic energy happens. I wasn't sure I was going to share that with you, but I have, and I am. I understand. However, when we are in the professional environment, they need to know that you've got it. And that comes across from the way that you hold yourself emotionally and the way that you interact. But it's all easy said and done. But instead of talking about, you've got to regulate your emotions, who would like 4 steps on how to do this exact thing? Awesome. Great. Good. So, step 1, recognize the current emotion. Right now, I'm feeling frazzled. I feel pretty overwhelmed. Right now, I'm feeling really stressed. Right now, I'm feeling really irked off. Actually, naming your emotion can dissipate the energy behind it. So David Goleman in his book talks about high energy states and low energy states. So like anger is a high energy state. And sometimes people can get addicted to being angry because it kind of gives them that boost and that zest to go and take action, which it's not always healthy. And we talk about action and getting motivated soon. And the like low states are like melancholy, depression. I don't have the energy, I don't have the motivation to go and get this next advert out in my vet physio business to bring in new clientele, or to go and speak to another vet so I can get more referrals. So that high energy state, low energy state, actually being able to verbalize the state that you're in is crucial to either lowering that energy state or raising that energy state. And it's like tuning in on your emotional frequency. Radio reference. And that's just a great start. Even just being like, right, how am I feeling right now? Oh, I'm feeling buzzing. Oh, I'm loving training right now. 2 is challenge the thought. So actually having a cognitive approach to what you're doing, because your emotions do have the ability to run the show. Has anyone ever had an emotion take over and you say something in the heat of a moment that you didn't really mean, and that wasn't really you, it was the emotion? Just me? Just okay, cool. So actually being able to use your rational brain to challenge your emotional brain is the next step. Step 2 is go, is this a true thought? Daniel has a fantastic reference to this about when you are feeling anxious. So he says that when you worry about worrying, it always ends in catastrophe. So if you allow that to play out, in your head, you go, oh, I've forgotten to prep for this dog that's coming in at 2:00. Somehow, if you worry about worrying, somehow you've done something nasty. You know, like the whole world collapses because you've not done this one thing. So actually interrupting that brain pattern and questioning, okay, is this true? Like, oh, I didn't prep for that dog, I'm the worst human being in the world. Actually cognitively thinking, okay, factually, am I the worst human being in this world? No, I'm not. Great. Let's take the next action step. Which takes us on to step 3. When you can start taking the small actions, it helps get you into momentum. And particularly when you're stuck in an emotional state, that momentum is that power to keep bringing you forwards. I'm just letting an extra person into the room. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. So it's Mel Robbins actually has got the counting backwards from 5 methodology. So if you're struggling to know what to do as your next step, count backwards from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it's a brain flip, because you've gone from hyper focused on this small element that is taking over your emotions to suddenly doing something different, which can then get you moving and into that motion. And if you guys want to turn on your cameras, because this is an interactive session, just for those that are joining me late, I love seeing you here and we love having cameras on. Welcome. Hey, Natasha, thank you so much. Love seeing your wonderful face. And finally, step 4 to overcoming any emotion is charitable work. How can you serve and help another person within the community or another animal in a charitable way, so you can do selfless acts? Selfless acts of kindness can be a game changer. That is no problem whatsoever, Natasha. And you obviously have been working very hard on their emotional state to make sure you give them all your time and effort before you move away to work on yourself. I appreciate that. Yeah, so we are faces of our community. The more that we can do for our community will not only help raise our emotional state, it will also work as a marketing tool for your business. So none of this is meant to manipulate, but that charitable giving and that helping someone else that down the road that is having that hard time can make a huge difference. And it's kind of like a build-up of goodwill. I personally believe that the universe delivers. What you put out, you get back. So actually, the more good energy you put out there, the more help and awareness that you can give out there, the more that can come back for you guys as well. Next is self-motivation. Who would say that they are motivated 100% of the time, all day, every day? Yeah, no. Mel Robbins actually says that motivation is garbage. And it's truth. In Emotional Intelligence, the book, he talks about actually have self-motivation from the angle of having your passions, inner needs, and goals met. When you are working on something that you're super passionate about, time can just fly and your ideas are flowing. But when you have to stop and maybe do your accountancy, then time seems to slow right down and it's really hard to get motivated to go do that task that's really hard for you. So this self-motivation segment is not, I'm going to feel, because a lot of people believe that motivation is, I'll get around to it when I feel motivated to do it. And honestly, the motivation doesn't always just show up. So by using and leaning on tools, we can help keep your business momentum moving forwards. And it's through using these tools that my clients have had those successes in their practices. So first activity of the week, and something that I would actually love to do with you guys in person right now, I'm going to just give you a couple of minutes, is a small brain dump. What do you need to get done this week? Let's get that out on paper, out of our brains, free up us so we have a higher emotional capacity for later on in the day. But what are we missing right now? What are we not doing? And what do we need to get done? I'm going to give you a couple of moments to get yours written out. I'm going to join you because there's nothing like getting actions done. Is it that live video into your Facebook group? Is it following up with a vet so you can get those referrals through? Is it a client you haven't heard from in a couple of weeks and you feel like you should reach out to them? Brilliant. I can see some people still writing, but I can see some already. Natasha, you missed the intro, but this is an interactive session. This isn't just a listening along. If I may, because you're on beautiful camera, I know you're here with me. Please, may I get you to unmute? And I want to know, what is the one thing you need to do this week that's going to move the needle in your business?
Hello. Okay, so the one thing that I do need to do and to stop hiding is I've actually resigned from my current position and I've been trying to be a bit more present on LinkedIn, but I want to progress from just LinkedIn post to actually writing an article like a blog. And I've had a few ideas buzzing around my head, but I'm going to get that done by the end of this week.
Fabulous. And I've actually got a top tip for you here. So thank you so much for saying that, because now we can just give the community more insights. If there's a voice recorder on your phone, or you can download voice recorders if you don't. If you actually take yourself out on a walk and verbalize that into your voice recorder, you can actually upload it, and you can get things to transcribe it for you as well. And what I have found in the past when I've done articles and blogs and publications is your own voice comes through way more clearly than if I sat there typing. I would type a bit, go back and edit it. So Natasha, I'm going to restart that. We just lost me because in my mum brain, I dashed from where I dropped my little man off and was working and didn't bring my charger cable, and I thought I could get through it, and I obviously can't. Business is business, self-regulation. I didn't flap, I didn't turn into the frantic chihuahua. I just went, okay, I'll just do this from my phone. So bear with me. Where was I at?
The voice recorder and the auto like scribe.
Yes, because actually you write so much more when you verbalize it. But I find again that movement is magic. And I find just ideas flow out of me way more naturally when I am doing a walk or moving, which is also we're filling our health bucket at the same time too. This is why I love to teach and train. Stood up. Brilliant. So we've talked about the actual things that we can move on for the week ahead, the top 3 things to move your needles. So we've always got 1,000 things on our to-do list. The aim of the game is never to clear your to-do list because it's not going to be done. That might be the biggest training that you take away from today. Is it okay? It's never going to be done. However, it's focusing that time and energy on that task that's actually going to move you forward the most. And a great tool and something that we provide to our Hub Club members is something called a weekly productivity meeting. So that I call it a paw meeting because it's got to be dog related. Productivity, accountability, weekly meeting, and this is from a training called Traction, and they talk about meeting pulses. If you know that you've got a deadline to get something done, there's always a spur of motivation that happens right before that meeting. You go and get everything done because you don't want to show up and go, oh, I didn't do it. That's not done. You want to get it done. So even if you're working for yourself, having a weekly meeting where you sit down and go, right, I'm going to get this done by this date, and sit down and having that open, honest conversation with yourself. Is it done or not done? And you can roll it over once, but you can't roll it over twice. And if it's a item, is that a question?
Yeah, just on that, it's a brilliant idea, but do you have a recommendation for what day of the week you should or shouldn't do this meeting?
I love doing these meetings on a Tuesday. That's what we've seen to have benefited the most of my clients that have ran this within their teams or for themselves. However, it really does not matter. What matters is that it's done regularly. And we have a template for it as well. And oftentimes people use their one-on-one coaching with me as their accountability. They're like, oh, I know Elizabeth's going to check in on me and check if I've done this. So I better hustle and make it work. We also have, Rachel, are you able to share the PowerPoint for me? And on those tasks that are always not done, maybe this is where you need to outsource and get some support. I have the wonderful Rachel on my team here at Canine Care Hub. I would be absolutely lost without her. And it's, what would I have done if I was just solo right now, lost everything, and I would have just carried on talking, really. But now I can actually show what I wanted to show. That self-motivation, we said, it's about your passions, your inner needs, and goals met. are met on a regular basis to help with this. Thank you. Next slide. Now, it's actually really important that we know what our passion is. And we have a sheet called a WAG sheet. Again, dog reference, Wealth Acceleration Goals Sheet. We build this out together. Obviously, this is one of our tools where we look at our passion statement. Why do we do what we do? We look at how we can benefit our community and what makes us stand out as special. This is top dog. And then we have our core values. So if one of your core values is I do what I say I'll do, or it's I live with integrity, then if you're in a place or you're trying to bring someone into your team and they don't do what they say they do, or they don't work with that integrity, or they, don't treat clients the way that they deserve to be treated, then this is where you become out of alignment and where that motivation can fail as well. So actually knowing what you stand for and what is important for you is really important when you're building your business forwards. And actually sometimes the core values are to check in on yourself too. Like, do I really want to do this, blog every single month? No, but I said I would, and my core value is I do what I say I do. So I'm gonna go get it done, even if it sucks. So it helps you level up as that level of adulting that we need for our businesses as well. We do 90-day reset sessions here at Canine Care Hub, and in Traction they talk about having a 90-day world. Because when you're in overwhelm, it's usually because you're looking way too far in the future, or you're focusing on tasks that are too close to you now, that need to be spaced out. Knowing your, okay, you can stop share, Rachel. Thank you so much. You're going to be my director now. Knowing where you're knowing where you're going in 90 days and being able to pause and recognize what progress you've made. There have been quarters in businesses where we've gone in and they've gone, I think this quarterly, it's been really bad. I don't really feel that good right now. And then they go back and they go, wow, we achieved this, we did this, we said we'd do this. Okay, no, we didn't quite hit that, but actually we said we'd get 4,000 and we got 3,000. Like, I'm still going to count that as a win. But actually taking that day out of your business to work on your business and going, okay, these were the big items that we said we'd get done. Did we get them done or did we not get them done? Or was that the wrong thing to focus on? Because instead we realized that this was more important. It's really easy to be too busy in business to stop and work on your business. These 90-day resets are the power that I've had with my clients over the last decade to help them go, okay, great. This is where we're coming from. This is where we're going. And when you live in the 90-day world, once you set your targets for in 3 months' time, so we're actually coming up to our next round of them. So October, we do the next round. That will take us to the end of the year. Once you set, this is what we're going to get done in the next 3 months, it kind of like barriers come up either side. And as soon as a new idea, a new shiny thing comes in, a new trainer pops into your LinkedIn ear and goes, I think you should do this. You can go, great idea. I'll park that in a list, but it's not in my 90-day barrier. You can volleyball it back out, because again, to gain that momentum in business, you need to start making those actions consistently, regularly, and keep your blinkers on, ready to hit that 90-day goalpost, to then get your 90-day goalpost. When we flit around, this is where we get stuck and overwhelmed. I can see this is resonating, and this is why we do these support sessions for our community. So, yes, when you talk about emotional intelligence, it can be quite like, oh, that's a nice thing to think about. However, there are actionable steps that can help you with the different elements that actually then package together as your emotional well-being, which then allows us to serve from a full cup to our wonderful clients. The next fourth domain out of the 5 domains from emotional intelligence is empathy. Rachel's going to pop that up on the screen for me just for effect. Yes. And again, great picture. We are in an interesting area where bully breeds are under scrutiny, and actually having huge empathy to different dogs' empathetic needs. Sorry, Natasha, I as is did at the start that I know you guys work with multiple animals, but I'm going to just say dogs for ease. Having empathy is your ability to be able to read verbal and non-verbal cues and be aware of others' emotions. So actually being able to read that pet parent that's come through your door wants their dog to be well because it's part of their family, but actually subconsciously, or not subconsciously, very upfront, they're thinking, I don't know if I can afford this. And it's kind of our job to sell our value of what we can do for them and their dog in the forefront. And the only way to do this is with empathy. There's scientific studies that show that if you're not sharing empathy whilst you're communicating, then it's very unlikely that you're able to build that connection rapport that you are looking for with that person. And I just believe in you guys. I know I haven't actually met you personally, but I know that you do this brilliantly with animals. You can read those subtle signs that there's a pain there and that, something's going to change with them. But how do you fare with humans right now? Did we get into working with animals because we think we're rubbish at this? I know many a dog groomer that claims that is why they became a dog groomer. So it's about looking at the situations from their shoes. So there's 3 sayings that you cannot say enough when speaking with an owner. As long as you are listening, I don't want you to just lean this. Just repeat these and go, yeah, great, tick the box. Please listen. So the first rule is always listen. The first stage of empathy. The 3 phrases are things like, I see, got it, and I hear you. Empathizing doesn't always mean sympathizing. You don't have to feel sorry for them. You don't have to burden yourself with their toil. But actually, they just need to be heard and know that you've understood them. You know when you're speaking to someone and they're not really that interested or listening, they're looking at their phone, they're looking at their watch. Like, it's about giving that person that time and energy. And actually, that can be the difference between them sticking with you and using you for their services and not. And also, when you listen to them effectively, you should be able to repeat back to them what they've said. So, I understand you're really concerned with Fido's left front paw. He seems to be limping on it most when we go on your field walk. Have I heard that correctly? And they go, oh, yes, I got it. You've got it. When they nod in agreement and go, yep, that's exactly it, then you know that you've hit that empathy loop with them. I once had the pleasure of sharing a stage of speaking with Chris Voss, the FBI negotiator. If you don't know his book, Never Split the Difference, I highly recommend it to add it to your book list. So he is the lead negotiator where there's hostage situations, and he has to talk to these serial killers, and he has to empathize with them and get on their level about the pain that they're in, despite them being horrible humans, to be able to release the hostage and get into that negotiation with them to win them over to his way of thinking. Obviously, our negotiations with our clients are not this serious, but knowing that even someone that works with killers has to bring in that empathy just goes to show how important this is for us. And a sentence that he teaches in his book is, it seems like, so I could go, it seems like you are hesitant. Am I hearing that right? Is that right? So actually saying it seems like and then stating their emotional state. So even if this is a at home tiff with your partner, it seems like you're angry with me. Am I right? And then this opens the doorway rather than being like, you're angry at me. That shuts communication. It seems like opens the conversation window. And this way, even if you label the emotion incorrectly, it gives them the opportunity to correct it and then open that line of communication back. So when a pet parent is going, oh, but I don't know if I can do Tuesdays, oh, it seems like this is holding you back right now. Is there anything that I can do to help you get this worked out? So it's actually opening that line of communication, and then they go, actually, you know what it is? I'm really not sure that I can afford the service or whatever it is. So sometimes people give you veils, such as I need to go home and ask my partner, I need to go home and ask the goldfish. And actually starting with empathy can really help you overcome those objections too. So let's just go for the goldfish one just for fun. If you're about to set someone up for their sessions with their dog and they go, oh, but wait, I'm just going to go home and ask my goldfish first. You would start with empathy. And we're going to do a little jump here. Hopefully you can see my hands. We're going to go, of course you need to ask your goldfish. I can see how that's important to you. I felt bad. I know lots of people that go home and check with their goldfish before they make decisions. However, because I can really see that Fido needs this service, what I'd like to do is get him booked in for that first session. So whilst you go home and check with your goldfish, we've got him in the diary so that you don't miss out. Does that sound good for you? Does Tuesday or Wednesday work best for you? So it's the 3-stage process: empathize and agree, stay in rapport. Then we go, give them the reason why we're going to keep moving forwards. Because I really want to get your dog in, because I've got lots of clients in and I know that time's important to you. And then move forwards and out of the conversation by offering 2 options. Does morning or afternoon work best for you? Does Tuesday or Wednesday work best for you? They've come to you to solve a pain. It's your job to find it and align that with their communication so that you can help them help their dog heal and move forwards. Am I right? All right. Give me a jazz hands if this is making sense. Oh, amazing. Thank you so much, guys. Next slide. And finally, the 5th domain is social skills. This is, can you read and act accordingly and find to the people around you? Can you approach a group of people and go, oh, they seem to be quite quiet. I'm not going to come in and be like, hi. Or, can you find common ground with people easily? Do you pick up on jokes? Do you understand if things are sarcasm? And again, social skills are one of those ones where we can either perceive that we've got great social skills, and then you ask your close group of friends, you go, actually, you're not that great at that. Or it's something that you can go, I don't believe I'm that great at. However, with time, you can upskill and lift yourself as well. Things like edification. If you are at your next networking event for vet physios, and you know your friend is coming with you and they're a bit nervous about joining the social circle, an edification process is where you talk them up to the person in front with you, because people listen to more about what is said about them than to them. So you're like, oh, Helen, this is Joan. Joan comes here. She's just qualified, but you know what? She was the top in her class. She's so dedicated and she can't wait to look after the animals. Joan, this is, I've forgotten what I said her name was. Don't do this. This is Helen. She is the lead speaker for us in the vet physio world. And she has 3 dogs named blah, 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 blah. It's about finding that common ground between those 2 people. And what you've also done in that edification process is you've proven that you have empathized and listened to their needs and wants as well. And if you don't know what to say, if you approach someone and they've got a friend with them and they've said, oh, you know, this is Betty, she's joining, I don't know where I'm coming up with these names from. Betty, she's here today. Then the greatest edification that you can do for anyone else is go, oh, you're with the right person. You know, that you've come with the right person. Because even if you don't know what that person does for vet physio, you know that you've all qualified and you all working towards the same goals and got the same passion. So actually, you can definitely say, oh, you're in the right circle right now, or it's great to be here. It's great, you're in the right circle. You can literally say those things for educations in social skills. I could talk about emotional intelligence for days. I can give you tools and I can answer questions as much as I just love it. I just love talking to you guys, but I am conscious of your time, and I said this would be a 45-minute kind of day. So have you had value from today's training? Yes, hopefully. Awesome. Is it okay if I just spend the next couple of minutes talking about something that I call the Hub Club? So the Canine Care Hub Club, yep, you're good, Rachel. Thank you. You're smashing it. Love you. It is a new community that we've launched here at Canine Care Hub. Thank you so much. And the point of this community is that we can carry on upskilling you and give you access to all the tools and trainings that you need to continue you on your growth journey. So as part of the Hub Club, we start with a one-to-one strategy call with me so that we can build out your 90-day plan, so that we can look at those rocks and core things that you need to get done in the next 90 days to move the needle and start you in that forward momentum for your business. Next clip, yes. We have a perfectly profitable program. Again, it's a dog pun, it has to be. This program I ran earlier on in the year, and we were charging nearly £2,000 for people to join the program. We are going to do our next program over 6 weeks, and we've piled on, not in the next 6 weeks, in 6, so relaunching again in October. And during that program, we do a call a week, and it's actionable, implementable steps that by the end of the 6 weeks, I'd like to see financial improvement for you in your business. The results that we had last time were awesome. You know, adding 4 figures to their monthly income is just a fantastic outcome. I'm very passionate about it, and you're welcome to just purchase the program on its own, but as a Hub Club member, you get that included in your club membership. Next, Rachel. Right. Then we have a Hub Club members vault, and you are joining us on the base level. You are the founders. So this means any documentation that you need and anything that gets created for our coaching members and for all of our clients that ask gets put straight in there. We also have all the past trainings from the last few months so that you can go back and really get to know me if this is the first time you've heard me speak. Next, we have a Canine Care Hub Facebook group. This is our community. Only good humans allowed in this community. Only people that want to share and help each other out. But for our Hub Club members, we're going to give you expert status, meaning that if there is anything that you want to advertise yourself, you can pop this in the group and we will raise you up within that community. We're also, any Hub Club members get 50% off all future in-person masterminds. We have our Hampshire mastermind. The dates are coming out very soon, so keep an eye out on your emails. These are round table style meetups, so that you can be in a room with like-minded business owners. And we do like hot seats. We go around the room, we talk about your challenges with your business, and we come up with strategies for you. And typically what we find is people learn more from hearing somebody else's challenges in their business than from your own hot seat. We also build out the 90-day strategies for you in these sessions. We can recreate core values. Really, it's a dynamic day. And it's limited to only 8 to 10 businesses. So kind of 8 to 10 people in a room. We do it at a local coffee shop near me. So you get coffee included in your day for those coffee addicts like me. Next, we have the accountability WhatsApp group. So again, business can be lonely. And actually having a community of people that really understand what you're going through is super beneficial. I can't have all the Canine Care Hub people on here, but the Hub Club members get that community, that get that WhatsApp group, and I'm in there. So you've got kind of direct access to me whenever you need me. Next, we have the first access to all bonus creations. As I mentioned, we have tools and toolkits already, but as you need stuff, we're just going to create it for you. So like ask the questions, we'll get it made, we'll get you looked after, and as a Hub Club member, you get that access first. And finally, we have group weekly accountability meetings. So to gain that momentum, to get that spur of activity in every single week, we will hold these meetings. And again, you are the founders, so we will collectively pick a day that works for you or for all your schedules, so that we can get that momentum for you. Now, some of these items you can buy bespokely. You can buy one-on-one coaching calls with me. You can buy the perfectly profitable program on its own. But just the value of this membership on its own, the total comes to £7,225, please, everyone. No, as I mentioned, because this is the first launch of the membership, we are doing this for you guys that are live and watch the recordings on here today. We're opening the doors for the next 7 days, and it's just £10 a month. So, or if you want to save 2 months, it's £100. And yes, your reaction, Natasha, is correct. The reason why it is so heavily discounted is because every time we close the doors and reopen them, these prices for transparency will go up. So I would love for you to take action, get around this community now, so that in years to come, you're still paying the measly £100 a year or £10 a month, when other people will be paying more and more. So your option today is, if you're ready for it, feel free to scan which option you'd like for yourself and your business. Or we can jump on a call and we can, if you've got any extra questions or anything like that and you want to find out more, then we can jump on a call together. So you can either hold your phone up to scan the QR codes directly, or in the next slide, we're going to give you the link to chat with me. Rachel, if you can go back a slide and pop the link to my Calendly in the chat for me. You're an angel. Thank you so much. And we've got a few minutes, so if you're here, I've got any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Oh, yeah, you can still join tonight. The doors have opened. This is a 7-day window. And we're going to be sharing this with our community. But absolutely, Natasha. You're so welcome. You don't want to miss out. You want to jump on this. And yeah, once you're in, or even before you're in, you can book a call in with me at a time that works for you so that I can get you looked after. Let's get some momentum going for you. I'm excited for you. Thank you for hopping on today. I can't flit to, Rachel, we can see what you're editing. You're so welcome. Thank you for joining, Michelle. Thank you for joining Stevie. And to those that are watching the replay, the doors are open for 7 days. So the doors will close next Tuesday, which is what's the date, guys?
26.
Oh, you're an angel. The 26th.
Sorry, mine's in the Philippines, so
Michelle, you're so welcome. Yeah, so and if you know of anyone else that may benefit from this, please feel free to share this with them. The recording's coming out to you. It's also going to be posted on our community Facebook page, so that we can continue to upskill and look after you. Have a fantastic rest of your day. We've hit the hour on the dot despite the tech issues. I think you guys are amazing, and I cannot wait to connect with you in the near future. Bye.